This is another programming question. So in this case, we're going to validate or authenticate a username and a password. So username and password combination is called authentication. So we're going to try and make sure that these passwords and usernames are correct. So there's two of them they've given to us, one there and one combination there. They've also said we have to do these output messages here, printing these output messages, and that we're repeating until it's valid. So they're the things we need to make sure we do. It's worth noting actually that we've got some inputs here. Get the program to enter a username and enter a password. If you're finding the whole program very difficult to do in the exam and you can't quite work out how to do it, if you just do the inputs and assign them to some variables, you're going to get some marks. So if you don't leave any of these questions blank, there's always something. If you can do an input, there's always something you can do. If you can do an output with the print statements, then there's usually something you can do. Okay, so let's see how we're going to write this. So like the easiest way to write this, I think, is to have a variable that controls a while loop. So let's call it correct, and we'll make that equal to false. And then we need to repeat this, so our while loop next. So while correct, equivalent to false. Then we're going to do the inputs. Username. And you can just do that. You don't have to write anything in here. You can if you want to. Password equals input. And as I say, if you can't do anything else, then you could do those at least and get some marks. So then we've got our if statement. So we might say if username is equivalent to, and then we refer to the table. We've got Yusuf 5 and password is equivalent to 33KK. So that's one test done. I'm going to put that in brackets. So then carrying on the line, or username is Mary 80 and password is, I don't know whether I put the right number of equals in there. It's meant to be like that. And the password equals AF5R. That's going to be the end of our statement, but let's put those bits in brackets too. So if we put them in brackets, perhaps we'll change the color for the brackets to make it look a bit more obvious. So if we put them in brackets, then it means that they're separating these, and it's going to do these first. So do these tests first, which means it'll separate the tests, because I want what I want to happen is it only be letting me in if it's the combination of these two or the combination of these two. So the brackets help to do that. So try to remember that if we're doing that kind of thing. So then we've done the test. So after that test, we can print access granted, and they've told us what to type. So do that exactly what they've said. Access granted. And then we need to change our variable called correct to true. So that's this variable here that we've used as controlling the loop. So if that's not the case, then it's an else, and we just print access denied. And so if the test fails and it comes down to else, it's just going to go back up to our while loop. If it passes and we've changed correct to true, it go back up to the while loop and it finds out it's no longer false, so it'll stop the program. So that's it, that's the end of the program. It was worth 7 marks, this one, altogether. And taking it step by step, you should be able to get a good few marks on this kind of question.